Hey, Josh Tigg, Running T Farms. Morning cattle move here. Just got the cows into their first break of grass. We have started our spring calving. We've had two calves out of Mark and Matt Robbins' fantastic R17 full blood Mashona bull on some of our straight Angus cattle. Expecting a lot of calves here in a pretty short time over the next couple of weeks. Wanted to talk just a bit about genetics and grazing. I thought I would get a shot here of what these cows are grazing. So got a lot of Kentucky 31 fescue, obviously a lot of orchard grass in this mix. Get down here where you can see it. A lot of bluegrass. You can see the bluegrass heads there, and if you get down you can see quite a bit of bluegrass. We have backed off on the stock density just a little bit because of unadapted cattle. So we're starting to get up in the high 70s, low 80s, and as soon as that starts happening, our cattle that have no Mashona influence, which are all predominantly black Angus. We do have some black Baldies, some cows with some Hereford influence, but they're British bred cattle. And when we ask them to come out here and graze at high stock density without a lot of shade, their consumption just drops off because they're so heat stressed. So they do have access to shade now. We are allowing access to shade over there along that tree line at the edge of every cell from about 12 o'clock on. They've got access to a pretty good amount of shade. So I just did a little bit of quick figuring. I didn't really know what stock density we're grazing at right now, still moving 4 times per day, but the cows are just shy of 600,000 pounds of stock density right there. 598 was what I come up with. But I want to, even with that, we were grazing at about 800,000 pounds of stock density. We backed that off, like I said, just because I noticed that the cows, despite having forage to graze, they just weren't grazing it down, and they weren't keeping themselves full as I would like due to heat stress. So I've backed it off to about 600,000 pounds per day, and subsequently our harvest efficiency has decreased. So I want to show you what's happening here now. So we've probably dropped from a 80-85% harvest efficiency, if I can get where the shadow is not on it, to probably a 70%, 65, 70%. There's a good 6 to 8 inches of that fescue left. But so there's the rub with selective rotational grazing. I've never seen it otherwise. So I'm going to get right down here, and you can see there's the crowns of orchard grass eaten completely to the ground. Here's a little bunch of Kentucky 31 fescue 8 inches tall right beside it. So here was an area with a lot of bluegrass, orchard grass, orchard grass, orchard grass, orchard grass. Took down to about 1.5 inches tall, which is how I would like to see it all done. But so here's the rub. What do you think plant is in the better situation here for a little bit faster recovery? Which plant's been favored? So we favored this Kentucky 31 fescue here over the orchard grass, over the bluegrass, over the most palatable species. So right now Kentucky 31 is becoming less palatable, higher end-of-fight load in it. It's put out its seed head. It's not bloomed yet. It's just, these seed heads have just came out here in the last couple of days. So this is what happens with selective grazing. So we're grazing at 600,000 pounds of stock density, moving 4 times a day, and there's still selective grazing occurring under that. You can see these areas here where we've had all these annual grasses, more palatable grasses that they have taken down and left the less palatable Kentucky 31 fescue. And I will challenge anyone, if you go out in your pastures and take a look, that's what you're gonna see. So we consistently run above 500,000 pounds of stock density, usually up around closer to 800, because we usually have a lot of forage on offer, such as that. That's, 36 plus inches of forage all the way across here that we'll be grazing until we're ready to start over on our sale that we grazed early in the spring. But that is the great benefit of non-selective grazing, is that you level the playing field. So as you can see, there was some poke stalk. The cows didn't eat it, but they did trample it down. But this time of the year with the fescue, the cows, it's very hard for them to trample it down. They can step on it, but it'll spring right back up. So we want them to consume it. The way I look at it here, and I know I'll get some disagreement on this, but I've left, 25 to 30% of usable forage standing here, and I've favored a less palatable species. Now, I'm not strictly against Kentucky 31 fescue. It stockpiles great. It definitely has its benefits, but it definitely has negative consequences as well. There's no getting around that. So I would like to see it lessen, and that's what we've seen on our other farms. This is a newly rented farm. This is only we took control of this farm about July of last year. So on our other farms, we've seen that Kentucky 31. There's a great shot of a cow eating a musk thistle. That is some other benefits there that you see with non-selective grazing, is these cows just learn to eat all kinds of stuff. But so think about that, you people grazing, by leveling the playing field every time we come out here. We encourage the most palatable species and the species that subjects itself best to grazing animals. And since we're in the cattle business, there's a great 2-day-old half Mashona calf here. Just laid down. He might stand up. I'm not going to bother him too much. Out of Mark and Matt Robbins' great RR17 bull. So that's a half-blood Mashona, half-blood Black Angus calf there. Hit the ground running as the rest of them have. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. As always, you can check us out online at runningtbeef.com. You can like us on Facebook at Running T Beef. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe, share this video, leave a comment. Helps out with the algorithms. There the little calf stood up. So that's actually, I believe that's the one that was born yesterday. That's just a 1-day-old calf. So looking good. Everybody have a great day and a great week.